Hello, and thanks for joining us today. I'm super excited you could be here. Today, we're talking about real estate. We're talking about actually tools, resources, especially software that can actually help you either break into the industry, whatever you're looking to do in real estate, or actually scale and even rapidly scale what you're doing right now if you're already in real estate. So, to have this conversation with us today is Daniil Kleyman. Now, Daniel's actually a real estate investor, a software entrepreneur, and founder of multiple thriving companies based in Richmond, Virginia. Originally from snowy Moscow, Russia, Daniil actually immigrated to the US at age 12 and eventually found himself on Wall Street. Briefly, he found his true path in real estate, though, software development especially, and hasn't looked back since. Now, he runs Evolve Development, a real estate firm focused on ground up multifamily and mixed use projects with a current pipeline of over $80 million. Now, Daniil also leads True Vision Analytics, which builds tools like Rehab Valuator, helping investors and developers analyze deals, raise capital, and manage projects across the US and beyond. Now, he's also an avid traveler. He spends at least 2 months a year abroad, or 2 months a year abroad, and he actually stays active through jogging and Muay Thai, and is a hands-on leader, constantly collaborating with the software team to drive innovation. Hey, Daniil, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us today.
That was Ty. From now on, you're my spokesperson. That was an amazing intro. Some of that is a little old. I stopped jogging a while ago. You know, getting old starts to break down your bones. I do other stuff lately, but otherwise, great intro. Thank you. That's fantastic.
So, what do you
Uh,
do now instead of jog?
uh, 10 years ago, I would have laughed at this answer, but yoga, and I do hit workouts and just lower impact stuff because jogging, I don't know, all my friends that jog, they have bad knees, bad ankles, bad joints, eventually just breaks down your body. So no more jogging for me.
And we're jogging.
But
I'm much like you. I am a daily yoga guy, and then I found swimming is really good on my joints and good form of exercise too. So.
swimming is great. Swimming is really, really great all body
So,
workout. So now we're off this weird tangent about fitness. I love it.
well, I got to tell you, it's hard to choose a topic with you because you've done so much in the real estate space, and unlike a software guy, you've actually built software to help you. It sounds like, and then
Hmm.
made a business out of it, helping other real estate guys. So, what got you into real estate in the very beginning?
Working a corporate job and realizing how miserable of a slog it was. I had an interest in real estate from the beginning. I took real estate courses in college, but just nothing ever really clicked. They concepts they teach you in college are actually kind of higher level concepts. They don't teach you the stuff that sort of the real estate education industry teaches, which is, hey, here's how to break into real estate, take a piece of crap house for 50 grand, wholesale it, make 20, whatever, right? So the stuff I learned in college didn't really help me get into the business. So I went into finance. I spent 6 years working on Wall Street, worked a lot of hours, did stuff that really I just wasn't cut out for. It was interesting work, but didn't really light me up. And so I kept trying to find a way to get out and get into real estate the whole time I was there. And I started kind of buying up properties back in my hometown passively with a buddy of mine. And then in 2008, company I worked for crashed, went out of business. Eventually, I got laid off, and they basically pushed that button for me. Like I kept trying to figure out how to get out, and they figured it out for me and got me out. I moved back to my hometown and kind of did that thing that they didn't explain to me in college, which is you don't get into real estate development by doing, a 500 unit development projects. You get into real estate by wholesaling a couple of houses, making some money, reinvesting that money into marketing. Maybe you evolve into doing bird deals or fix and flips, and you learn as you go and you scale up as you go. That's the stuff that they didn't really explain to us in the college courses. And so yeah, I moved back home. I uh, wholesaled a bunch of houses, but very quickly I wanted to get into doing bird deals. I wanted to build up cash flow. My interest from very beginning, like I don't get excited by big checks. I get excited by monthly checks. I get excited by checks that come into me month after month after month. Small monthly checks get me a lot more excited than big one-time checks because big one-time checks I have to keep working for to earn those checks. So I started doing bird deals, and I did some fix and flips. And then, after 7 or 8 years of doing bird deals and building up a portfolio that kept giving me larger and larger monthly checks, I transitioned into ground up development. And we can talk about software, but at the same time, as I got when they kicked me out of Wall Street, I read the 4 Hour Work Week, and Tim Ferriss said, "It's so easy to start an online business. Anybody can do it." And I said, well, maybe I should start an online business. I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I spent time on Wall Street just building spreadsheets, complicated financial models. So I built one for myself to evaluate real estate deals. The first version was just a really clunky spreadsheet in hindsight. But at the same time, as I got into real estate full time, I started the software company, and really started off being spreadsheets, and they got better and better over time. And then it turned into a legit software platform that's cloud based, and the functionality kept evolving and improving, and just kind of bootstrapped that business, not knowing what the hell I was doing, not knowing anything about really building software or internet marketing. And we've grown. We have thousands, and I'm not going to say exactly, but we have many thousands of paying clients, and we have a free version that we've given away since 2009 to, I mean, it has to be 500,000 people easily that we've allowed to have the free version of our software. And so it's been a really cool journey, because we've helped a whole bunch of people around the country, around the world, and I've met a crazy amount of people through the software business. So that was a super long answer to your very simple question.
Well, what are you doing with software? How are you finding that it's helping you and other real estate investors kind of like streamline the process?
So we help the software is called Rehab Valuator, and we help kind of a few different avatars of people. We help wholesalers, we help rehabbers, whether they're doing bird deals or they're fix and flipping, and then we help ground up developers. And we tackle really a couple of things: deal analysis, deal marketing if you need to sell your deals, raising capital, and then full scale start to finish project management. So it starts with just making good decisions, whatever avatar you are, right? You need to be able to, you're looking at a property, whether it's a piece of land or it's a house, you need to be able to pull accurate data on the property, sales comps, determine an offer, run the basic financial feasibility. What should I offer for this house? How much money is it going to make? So we start there, and then we give our users marketing tools. Press a button, generates a marketing flyer that you can syndicate to social media. You can send to your buyers list to sell your deal if you're a wholesaler. Press another button, we generate really intelligent, simple funding presentations that our clients have used to raise tens of millions of dollars. It bridges the credibility gap. If you're starting out and you've got, let's say, a great house you want to rehab, you want to approach a private lender, maybe you don't have a lot of experience. Well, you can generate a really professional, intelligent looking presentation very easily using our software that you put in front of your lender, and it communicates clearly that you understand the business, you understand how the deal is structured. It talks the private lender's language. Here's how much money you as a private lender are going to make. Here's your loan to value. Here's what you learn in interest. Here's what you learn in points. Here's the timeline for the deal. Very simple, very clear, but it makes our clients look incredibly credible, even if they're fairly new to the business. And then we apply that same concept to the ground up development. We can generate funding proposals for banks that get us short-term funding and permanent funding on the projects that we build. And then there's a project management suite in there. Very simple, right? Like construction project management in general is, most of the tools out there are geared towards big builders, big contractors. They're complicated, they're clunky, they're expensive. So we've built rehab and construction management tools that are affordable and fairly simple to learn for sort of the smaller mom and pop investors. Click a button, you can build out a rehab budget. You can store your bids there. You can build a simple schedule. You can track your project on an ongoing basis. There's a very simple accounting system. So you could see in real time, this is how much I've spent, this is how much I've budgeted, this is what's left to pay my contractors, this is how we're doing. So things like that, right? Like, as I've really just kept building this tool for myself as my business has evolved. I don't really look at what other people are doing, but what we've built has resonated with a lot of people.
How do you think that the software helps like reduce the risks that overall, investors face?
Well, so in my business right now, my business is focused around developing mixed use and apartment buildings without having some sort of an analysis tool that tells me exactly what my cash required for the deal is, my cash and cash return is going to be. Like, here are the rents that I need to hit in order to cover my debt. I don't even understand how you could do this business. Same thing with, let's say you're a wholesaler and you're starting in the business. How do you make offers without having accurate sales comps to show you what this property is going to be worth once your end buyer renovates it? Uh, we're certainly not the end all be all. There's other tools, but you got to be using something. Otherwise, you're shooting in the dark.
Now, did you say that what you do, does it work for land? Does it work for what kind of types of properties does it work for?
Land, single family homes, all the way to, again, we in my business we use the software for multifamily projects that are 100 plus units. So it works for everything in between.
And what advantages do you think it has when you talk about lenders? Like what advantages does it have to help you actually pitch the deal when you actually get the deal?
Because we lay out for the lender the things that they're going to ask for anyway, and we lay it out in a very clear to navigate manner before they even ask those questions. So it's like we're reading the lender's mind. Hey, here's how much this property is going to be worth once they renovate it. Here's my rehab budget. Here's the loan to value that I'm requesting. Here's what you're going to earn. Here's the timeline of the deal. Here are the sales comps. Here are the rental comps. Here's all the data. It lays out the deal very clearly for the lender, rather than me saying, hey, Ty, I need to borrow $100,000 for this house. And now you start asking me all of these questions and we're having this painful back and forth. No, I'm giving you all this information. You still need to underwrite, right? You still need to do due diligence on me as a borrower, but we're getting off on the right foot because I look really professional and I'm giving you the information that you need to start underwriting the deal. And it builds a lot of credibility. I mean, we have crazy testimonials from people that are like complete newbies and have been able to secure private capital using the software, have been able to go out and get a construction loan from a local bank for a multifamily project. It's really neat.
Does it help like evaluating different exit strategies for a property? Because once I, find the right property, I can do a lot of things with it, right? I could do wholesale,
Sure.
fix and flip. Does it help kind of evaluate the different exit strategies?
Yeah. It lets you evaluate wholesale, fix and flip, burr, right? If I keep this and rent it, yeah, it helps you evaluate those exit strategies. We don't do subject to analysis and some of the sort of more esoteric creative financing structures in the software, but sort of the basics that almost everybody uses. Yeah, we tackle that stuff.
Now, when it comes to comps, like what is different about what you do with software? If somebody's using MLS to look at comps or Zillow or something else, like what is it that you're doing that's so much different than the methods that people use without using your software?
Sure. I mean, we take data very seriously. We're constantly improving our data. We also have, I think, really dynamic kind of filtering ability inside the software that lets you really zero in on the most relevant comps and get rid of outliers and noise. So I think there we're very strong. And what I don't know. Look, I mean, there's great tools out there, right? Again, but I think what makes us unique is sort of we incorporate almost the full deal process into the platform. Minus right now we don't have leads. We're probably going to build that in soon. That's the one piece that we just haven't really tackled because it's not our strong suit, is the leads. But once you get a lead, our platform handles everything from deal analysis, data, comps, raising capital, all the way through project management, completion of the project. I think that makes us pretty unique.
Yeah. What is it doing in dive a little bit more on the raising capital piece? So what are the different benefits or aspects or features that help you with the raising capital piece?
It starts with structuring. How do I structure this deal to where I can offer, if I'm approaching private capital, for example, I need to offer a certain rate of return. How much meat is in the bone in this deal? What kind of return can I offer to an investor that's attractive without breaking the deal for me? I can play around with a couple of scenarios. Maybe I offer, again, I'm talking strictly about, let's say I'm approaching a private lender to fix and flip a house. Okay, I can offer purely interest. I can offer lower interest, but maybe a couple of points. Maybe I don't offer an interest rate at all. I don't offer any points, but I offer a profit split, and now we're joint venture partners. So the first thing that we allow our user to do is play around with scenarios and structure the deal so that it's profitable for you, but it's also attractive enough for your private lender in order to do the deal. And that, once you structure the deal, that translates into really comprehensive presentation that you put in front of your lender. So we don't give you like lender leads. Private lending, as I'm sure you know, it's relationship based. Now again, we have pieces of the software that you can use to present to banks. I've personally, in my business, have raised at this point probably over $40 million in bank capital using the software, right, in debt. But if we're talking about strictly private lenders, we don't give you leads. It's on you to go out and build those relationships. But once you have a deal to put in front of somebody, we give you the tools to do that really intelligently and make you look really smart. That's kind of what we do.
You mentioned the flyers too, and I love that. I've never heard of a software that does that. What's some use cases of that, like on wholesaling or whatever, end where they're able to come through and then be able to put the benefits on a flyer and then use that for marketing?
So, I mean, your deal analysis translates straight into the marketing piece in the software. And then there's functionality where, I mean, I can be at your house signing a contract with you, and I can punch in the numbers into the software, generate a link, and blast it out to my buyers via text or via email, or put it in my Facebook group, or put it in another Facebook group. So you can disseminate information very quickly and very easily about the deal. And again, like when I got started in this business, it used to drive me crazy when wholesalers would send me a text, and I still get these texts. I can show you my phone. Here's an address, here's a price. Okay. Unless I know the area incredibly well, unless I know that street, sometimes I know the area so well in rare circumstances that if I see an address and I see a price, I'm like, all right, that's a good deal. But that's almost never the case, right? So now I've got this address and I've got this price. And I've got to go and I've got to look this stuff up and research it and figure out whether it's even worth calling this wholesaler back to go look at this deal. Well, and so I created this tool because I was frustrated, because now instead of doing that, you can send all the things that I'm going to ask you anyway. Here's the after repair value because I've run comps. Here are the comps. Here are the pictures of the property. So you can, now I'm going to, as a wholesaler, ballpark repairs, but nobody's going to take me seriously anyway because wholesalers get it wrong completely. But you can actually use the software to estimate repairs, send that to your potential buyers list as well. So now I, as a buyer, I'm getting information from you that saves me time, helps me quicker get to a point where I say, hey, Ty, yeah, I'd like to see this house, or maybe I'd like to make an offer in this house if I'm virtual. So we're shortcutting that deal closing process because you're conveying a lot more information quickly to your lenders or to your buyers that helps them make a decision. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes perfect sense. What about on the rehab side? Like, how is it helping then to be able to estimate cost and things like that to get the ROI, like if they're doing a fix and flip?
You can build repair budgets very easily. We give you pricing guidance. I'm a firm believer in not tying into random nationwide databases and like claiming to be able to predict your repairs for you. I think that's a fool's errand. We get asked for that occasionally, and I've seen some tools do that. But repairs differ widely between city to city, level of finishes, your quality of your subcontractors, suppliers. So we provide tools to people. Now, again, we give you templates and pricing guidance, but what we really are good at is, Ty, you've done a rehab or two. You know roughly what things cost. You can populate your costs into this template. And when you go out and look at deal number 2 or deal number 3, boom, you pull it up and you just change the number of windows. You change the number of doors. You change the square feet of the house, and it spits off a repair estimate for you immediately. As a wholesaler, you can do the same thing. But we want our users to do a little bit of research, pick up the phone and find out what things cost in your market. Go out and get some bids. But once you do that, you can store your data in our system. And the second time you estimate repairs, the third time, the 7th time, the 20th time, it takes 30 seconds. It's lightning quick.
Does the software like actually help with communication with deal partners and people involved in the deal?
You can add users, and you can put users in there, and you can have your partners in the software and share deals. And you can also just easily disseminate from the software information to people that are not in your account, because again, you can generate unique links, and you can generate PDFs, and you can generate. So I mean, yeah, we've got some updates coming to that as well soon. But yeah, you can, the easiest thing is if you've got business partners, they're in your account, they're users.
Daniel, it seems like if I'm coming into real estate, I'm newer in real estate, like, and somebody that's experienced doesn't have access to something this powerful, sounds like it almost gives me like an unfair advantage to potentially help me even, be more competitive. Is that what you guys find as well?
Yeah, and we provide a ton of training around it too. I mean, I realized that early on, that especially if you're newer, it's not enough for us to give you tools and even great support. You need help. You need training. So because we're actual real estate investors, and by we I mean me, I've put together gobs of content over the years and continue to do it about real estate investing, about how to do deals, and also how to use the software to do deals. So yeah, I mean, we've become a really great resource, I think, for somebody new, because they're coming in, they're not just getting like a random software tool, like, here, see you later. Like, we're giving a ton of support behind it and education. And that's a powerful combination.
Do you find like who is your user? Are they newbies? Or are they people that are experienced investors? Are they agents? Or I mean, it even sounds like these could be powerful tools for agents as well.
It can. I don't think I don't think we have a ton of agents. Any agents that are using our software are mostly also real estate investors. So we've kind of bifurcated the product in the sense that we attract a lot of newer investors, but we have a user base that's very experienced as well. And we never hear from those people because they're just doing deals and using your software. We hear a lot more from our newer investors because they need a lot more hand holding and support, and we provide that. But I would say it's both. It's both. New users, unfortunately, new investors, they churn from our software and from the business in general. And that's one of the things that we're, I think, really passionate about, is trying to keep those people in the business. Like, don't give up. Doing your first deal is really hard, but once you do it, stick it out. Once you get that first deal done, second one is easier. It all clicks together. So we're really good at kind of helping newer investors, but we have a ton of experienced investors. And again, like, we have multifamily and mixed use developers and townhome builders that are using our software to do business at scale.
Rehab Valuator, I mean, powerful. I love and I appreciate all the insight today. I know
Sure.
it's hard to like come on, and you're like me. I don't like to talk about like my product and what I do, but I just think it's so valuable because so many of our audience, so many members of our audience are in real estate or getting in or proficiently experts in real estate. And so we never really talked about software and how it can kind of help shortcut this process, help you scale easier and better,
Yeah.
help you make smarter decisions. So I really appreciate you coming on and sharing with us today.
Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure. Yeah, I tend to kind of talk more about the real estate side, just because I think the tools are great, but the tools allow us to do the business, and ultimately it's about the business, and it's about what does the business then. The tools enable the business enables the life. So there's layers. So yeah, I mostly tend to talk about the business side of it because that's what gets people excited. Nobody gets excited about tools, right? Everybody gets excited about what do the tools allow me to do, and that's the business. And then the business ideally enables financial freedom
Sure.
and
Yeah.
travel and time with your kids, et cetera, et cetera. So
Daniil, everybody, anybody here that's watching that's interested, what should they do? Where should they go to learn more?
if you just go to rehabvaluator.com, if I was smart, I'd be wearing my shirt right now, but I'm not. I guess I'm not a good marketer. So, but if you just go to rehabvaluator.com, you can check out the software. Again, there's a free version there that lets you do all the financial analysis. It's feature limited, but it's a way that you can test drive the software. You can use the free version forever. And even for our free version, if all you do is just get the free version, you call our office and we pick up the phone and help you. I have full-time people staffed in my office whose job it is to help our users. So that's probably the best way. And even if you sign up for the free version, you'll get emails from me. And again, we have a lot of free education that we disseminate to people and content, and we have a big YouTube channel as well where I post a lot of content lately on real estate development, where I'm probably one of the few people in the country that kind of freely teaches real estate development. It's a pretty closely guarded topic, it seems like. So you can check us out on, if you just look for Rehab Valuator or for my name on YouTube, you will find our channel. And I highly suggest you subscribe to that because there's a wealth of information on the YouTube channel, especially if you're interested in real estate development, whether it's building spec homes to sell or building, a lot of what I do is built to rent.
I love it. Daniil, thanks for coming on with us today.
My pleasure, Ty. Thanks for having me.
All right, so listen, if you're watching this, make sure you go to rehabvaluator.com. If you go to rehabvaluator.com, you're able to see right there a lot of the features, a lot of the benefits of actually using it, screenshots, like it's everything you need to be able to look at it, see what it can do, and even access the free version is all there at rehabvaluator.com. And if you go to the bottom of rehabvaluator.com, then you're able to actually access the social channels as well. So the social media links are right down there. You can click follow. It'll take less than a minute to do that because again, they have a unique insight that you're not going to typically get from a real estate investor. And Daniil's got a ton of experience in real estate development as well. So it's really rare that you find somebody that's actually out there doing it, built an entire software to help him, and now it helps thousands and thousands of users. And then also is proficient in development and then education, provides tons of teaching and education. So make sure you go to rehabvaluator.com and also make sure you go to the bottom and subscribe on the social channels. And make sure that you check them out on YouTube as well. Thank you very much for tuning in. Take care. Have a great day.